Okay, welcome back to the mini-series I'm calling On Assignment in association with Club Photo. If I say that out of breath, because I am, the spiral staircase, well, I'll never ever get used to it, but we've run up the stairs, put the lights on, hit shoot, and
We're ready to go.
here we are. So I am with the main man, the man of the moment, I guess. Mr. Straight into it, I guess. No introduction needed. Mr. Valleys himself, Mr. Jon Poutney. How are we, sir?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Thank you.
This all happened a bit fast, didn't it? You come through the door, get upstairs, and we're shooting. We're filming.
I'm working in the coal exchange, which
Corn exchange,
which is I didn't realise is just across the road, pretty much. So I thought I'd come in after finishing.
You were in my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So I've dragged you in. And here we are. First one in a long time. I might be a bit rusty.
Okay, don't worry.
But I'm not worrying. It's my podcast. I'll do what I want. So it's tough. You've got to watch, subscribe, like, comment, all the good stuff. Right. And I have questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Obviously, we'll start off where you're from.
Yeah.
Where do you live now?
Yeah.
What got you into photography?
I'm from West Yorkshire.
I mean, yeah.
Was born in Pontefract.
Yeah.
Lived in Castleford. Then lived in a place called Market Wheaton, which is also Yorkshire. Then a place called Filey. And then moved to Stratford-on-Avon when I was about 7. And was there until 1996. And then moved to Cardiff to be a art student. I live in Treforest in the Valleys. Lived there for about 10 years. Obviously lived in Wales for 29 years. What got me into photography? Several things. I was given my grandfather's camera by my nan to start playing around with, doing double exposures and a few different things, and just learning about.
At what age were you handed the camera?
10 or 11, probably.
So way before Cardiff University.
Oh God, yeah.
You'd gone to study the arts.
I went to
art in Cardiff.
Yeah, and the course I was on was so crap that basically I was already much more focused on photography. And I just went into the dark room for 3 years and taught myself, really.
Because you are a painter.
Yeah, well, I started off as a painter, yeah. And that's what took me from school to college and then into... Is university higher education? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And but then I was already kind of dipping my toe into. My nan had already bought me an SLR by then, an OM10, in 1995, so 30 years ago for my 17th birthday.
Yeah.
So she'd given me my first camera, which I'd been playing around with, obviously medium format, very, very rudimentary, like TLR kind of format camera, but not a true TLR really. And then an SLR. So everything was film. Everything was filmed for me until I graduated, and then I went straight to work in a commercial studio in Cardiff Bay. And the week I started, they were literally sawing up the dark room, chucking all the processors and everything out. And I had to learn a whole new way of working.
Because you are a working photographer.
Yeah, well, I suppose I am, yeah. And I don't know if that's quite unusual, really, because I think a lot of people say they're photographers. I don't really call myself a photographer. I suppose my work is photography, but I usually just say I'm an artist because I do, like you say, I do a lot of other stuff besides photography, painting.
Well, why I say it is, I mean... It's a tough old game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an industry
that
a lot of people, they photograph and get paid to photograph, but they do have other jobs.
Yes.
But you're doing it. You're in it.
Yeah. Well, you are. Yeah. I mean, it's with my partner's support, obviously, but 100% of the time I'm doing my own work.
I feel like this is a running theme. Yeah. I'm the same. Without my partner, I wouldn't be sat here.
Yeah,
like, there's no way I would be able to do stuff that I'm able to do.
Yeah.
But almost everyone that sits there, males as well, mostly males, I say, oh my God, if it wasn't for my partner, I wouldn't be out and about seeing the world. It's funny. But
there's not a lot of money in photography. I think that's the main, and and you can't kind of expect freelance work of any type to be consistent, and I think that's the difficulty. And that's where I've been lucky, is that I can kind of turn my hand to quite a few different things. And
Well, that might be another podcast, because I would love to interview people that make a living from it and don't have other jobs, and their living is. So maybe that's another podcast. But why we are here today is to talk about your book, which has now been released.
Yeah.
I guess after 10,000 messages of where's my bloody book and what have I bought and what have I paid for and when and where and how.
Yeah, I think I've sent about 60% now. The rest will go out this weekend. I've been doing it in batches because basically we've sold way more than we thought we were going to sell.
Well, for those that don't know, and if you don't know, where have you been? But you set up a crowdfunder.
Yeah.
To raise how much? Originally, how much?
Originally, I was going to put 3K, and then I thought, for contingencies, I put 5.5, and then we ended up raising 13.5 about, I think.
So the book is Valleys.
Yeah.
And it's obviously your time and documentation of the valleys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the original was 3... And you've 4x that or 5 times that.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I've no idea, really. I mean, I think it's mainly through social media. And I've been on social media a long time now. So people kind of know I am and understand that I'm not going to pull a fast one. You know, it's been on Twitter 15 or 16 years.
Okay.
Instagram, I've been on 9 years. So not so long. But people have kind of seen the progression and also probably seen me take the photos in lots of ways. So I think that's testament to, how nice people are, that they've stayed with me through this kind of journey. Yeah. Not to sound a bit, wet and kind of a bit, I can't think of the word now. I don't want to say, I've had this amazing journey. It's like, it has been a journey, and I'm really pleased that people have stuck with my photography and enjoyed it through that period. Because it is, in the book, it is 15 years of work from the first pictures were from 2010. So
what happened? Was it a case of did you set out originally to do this, or was it you just had so many photographs from your time there that you thought I better do something with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The true story I've told a few times now, not really on the record as such. That might be wrong. I can't remember. And it's quite spiteful in that it totally came about through the National Museum Amgueddfa Cymru, who I used to be one of their photographers.
Right.
Which is the ironic thing. They did the Valley Show last year in Cardiff, in the main whatever the main Museum of Wales, Cardiff, I think it's called now. And I had no foreknowledge of it and was never asked to be part of it. And I went through to see a guy called, I went through to Martin Parr Foundation last year to do some research into some different bits and pieces to do with some prints and stuff. And someone there mentioned that basically, we've had one of your lot kind of thing in recently, as in someone from Wales. And I was like, who's that? And they were like, the curator of the photography gallery part of the museum, looking for some of our archive stuff that we might have for a show that's coming up in the museum. And I was like, what's the show? And they were like, South Wales Valleys. And I was like,
but it wasn't common knowledge at that point,
no,
was it? So he told you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one had told me about it, and I hadn't heard about it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, right, okay, nice one. Just thinking,
So how timescale wise, when were you told that? As
that was probably May, so it was May, June, July, August. So it was 5 months before the show.
Before the show, okay.
Yeah.
So they knew about it.
Yeah. So, and there was plenty of time to ask me to be involved.
So why do you think then you weren't asked?
I honestly have no idea. And as someone who's pretty visible as a photographer and an artist in South Wales, I did a TV documentary on photography in the Valleys 2015. lots of exhibitions. I had a big exhibition in the National Library 4 years ago. I've had lots of meetings with the museum, and I used to work for the museum. So it's a bit like...
Yeah, you weren't lost under the...
No,
yeah.
not under the radar. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Some kind of curatorial decision was taken there that my work wasn't good enough, perhaps, to go in the show. So I was just like, whatever. And then, the show came around, went to have a look at the show, and I thought it was a pretty good show. I thought there was some really excellent stuff, archive stuff in there that I thought was really excellent. I was really glad to see on display that I knew had kind of been languishing in the storerooms of the museum for quite a long time.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite an interesting mix of painting and stuff to start off with. I thought it was, in lots of ways, I thought it was a great show. But then people started asking questions, where's your work, where's your work, where's your work? And as I said at the time, I've never been asked so many questions about a show I'm not actually even in. People don't ask that many questions about shows you are doing. So it just started to just do my head in a bit, answering people's questions. Like,
What was the answer? What would you tell
all
people?
I could say was, I've no idea. I don't know why I'm not in it. And
Did you reach out to them at all?
No, because I just thought that just looks like kind of...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, why haven't you... why not? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's a bit like, do you know who I am kind of thing. And I don't want to be like that, really.
No, I just thought if you worked there and you might have still known someone there, you might have asked
I
the
know
question.
loads of people there. And they were, people that still work there were asking me why, not from that department, but people that work there are like, and who have supported my work were like, I can't believe you're not in it.
Okay.
And then basically, Sean, who ended up designing the book, we were talking about it, and I said, I can't believe I'm not in it, and people keep asking, and people were sending me photos of Post-it notes where people had written like, "Where's Jon Poutney?"
Oh, really? Okay.
In the show, there was the wall in the show where you could put Post-it notes.
Yeah.
And then Sean said, we should go in. Sean or me, I can't remember who said it now. He was like, we should print out some photos and you can go in and just blue tack them up on the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like,
Banksy style.
Yeah. And I seriously thought about that. And then I just thought, I'd probably just end up looking like a twat, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, why don't we just do a book?
Okay.
And, turn that negative experience into a positive experience. And I thought, let's
so
go
really,
for
if
it.
it hadn't have been for this show, and you having not being involved, the book wouldn't exist.
Probably not in this form or at this time. No.
Why not?
Well, I had all the work. I don't know if you or other artists do this. That I work on certain themes and I arrange those photos then, and I've got a big body of work on Porthcawl. I've got loads of stuff on sheds around Wales. I've got one that's just Wales, and obviously I've just got valleys, and then I've got one on film which is more like South Wales in terms of, so it's not just the valleys. It goes to across. Some's Newport, some's Llanelli, places like that, but not much of that is online at the moment. But so I had most of the stuff already in a folder, pretty much ready to go. And I sent it over to Sean, and he tweaked a little bit. And then I tweaked a little bit because I thought it looked a bit Rhondda heavy. And then it was kind of there already. So I think it was the end of September this time last year that I said on Twitter, does anyone fancy me doing this? And at that point, it was just going to be like a newspaper type thing.
Yeah.
And very quickly, from all the responses, we thought, we're going to have to do like more of a book thing. And that's how it... So from the kind of genesis of the idea with Sean of the book to people getting it in their hands is almost just a year. So to do all of that in a year, I think is pretty mad, really. And
Still waiting for my book. I can't even ask you about it.
Bloody brought one today.
No, that's fine. I'm
always
joking.
forget.
I got patience. I can wait.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't wait to get it.
I
in the
got
post.
boxes and boxes in the house. And
No, that's fine. I'm joking. But
I meant to be going to a 30th anniversary reunion of my college in Leamington Spa tomorrow, and I've had to say no because I've got all these
busy getting.
I've got too many. Yeah,
on
because
the
I'm
books
just
there,
starting
yeah.
to get a bit stressed out now that I just want to get them to the post office because it's not an easy.
No, I know that
process
bit is, no one
is-
thinks of that bit
Yeah.
when you're doing it.
The process has been quite difficult,
Yeah.
and a lot more difficult than I expected, really, because I had to. Once I put some of the stuff together, I did want to shoot some fresh stuff. So there was that to do first. So
Well, I was going to ask you. You'd been documenting the valleys for 20 years.
yeah. Well, 15.
15 years.
Yeah. There was stuff from before
How many
that, but it
pages are in the
wasn't.
book?
I think it's about 80, something like that. So it's quite a lot. It's quite a big body
Yeah,
of work.
but you would have had thousands of photographs.
Oh, God, there's enough
So
of-
what made you want to shoot more? For like what? I always think I've done a zine.
Yeah.
2 zines.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they never feel finished.
No.
But I didn't have I didn't have an extensive amount of stuff to
Yeah.
go in. It was so I had what I had.
Yeah.
But I guess for people watching,
Yeah.
maybe students, I'm not asking for advice,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at what point do you go, well, yeah, they're the 80 photographs out of the 80,000 I have, you know.
Sometimes you have to leave it to someone else, so I kind of left it to Sean in that way. I mean, I've got to say, there's easily enough material left for volume 2, which we're
But what
planning
made
to
you want to do more? What?
Just to cover. For me, going into the valleys and doing that kind of documentary stuff is more of a kind of compulsion, and it's not really something. If I have a spare day, I'll think, right, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go somewhere that I haven't been before. And I knew there were still a few places at that point. Because what I do is find places that I like and then repeatedly go there. Different weather, different light, different time of day,
Well, this is it. I think.
different seasons.
Yeah, I know.
So
You think after 20 years, 15 years, there's nothing left, but
no, but
there's always a shop
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
I don't know, a building being painted or the
yeah, because I feel
seasons.
like I'm looking under every rock and looking under every leaf to try and find something new. Rumney is a place that I thought, I've never been to Rumney. Drove to Rumney. I've been there loads of times.
Yeah, like
And I'm like, but different days, different lights. Managed to get a nice shot of a chapel, and then I got a nice shot of a petrol station that looked really, weirdly kind of like Midwest kind of
Well,
thing.
from what I've seen online, because obviously you haven't sent my book out yet.
Yeah.
You photographed it beautifully. So, was your intent? Because when you think of the valleys,
Yeah.
sometimes and
Yeah,
the old documentary photographs,
Yeah.
they're just the old lady with no teeth in the coffee shop, or do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or kids in the street playing with
Yeah.
not
Bricks.
looking, kicking footballs for,
Yeah.
kicking bricks for footballs.
Yeah.
But you've done it in a way that's like so uncliche.
Yeah.
Was that always the intention, or is that just the way you saw it?
It's really interesting you say that, because a lot of people say that my work is cliched and
I
quite
don't think it is.
sentimental, which I always find quite weird. That I, and I've when it was locked down, I did a few portfolio reviews online, and some of the feedback was quite rude, and I was just like, oh, okay, like saying my work was camera club,
No, I think.
and I was a bit
Well,
like,
I don't know about
what
that.
camera
No,
clubs
no.
have you been to?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Now, the valleys has always been documented, I think. But I
Yeah.
think about it anyway.
Yeah.
I haven't seen too much, but what I think of it is always, below the working class.
Yes.
Below that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the kids on the street playing with the sticks,
Yeah.
because they ain't got, do you know what I mean?
I don't
But you
know.
haven't done that. You've
No.
documented it in another light or another way.
Well, I think I've got an eye for beauty and kind of aesthetic.
But was it on
lighting.
purpose? Did you?
Yeah. Because
You didn't want it to look down
No.
and out. You wanted it to look.
my stuff was a kind of reaction to stuff that I think has been done to death a bit now, and it becomes a bit that becomes a bit of a cliche. That it looks a bit like when you see students taken up to the valleys, they'll do pictures of burnt out cars,
Yeah.
fridges at the side
Well,
of
this
the
is
road.
it. This is
and
But you didn't do any of that.
No, well, I started off doing that.
Yeah.
But I think what you have to find as any kind of artist, musician, photographer, writer, you find your own voice of authorship as you work. And if you keep doing it for 15 years, you do eventually find that kind of thing that you want to say. People always say to me, like Edward Hopper,
Yeah.
they don't often say other photographers. They usually say painters, or they say your work looks like a painting. And I think maybe because I've come from that slightly different background of painting and more interested in film as in cinema rather than like other photographers are not that revered, and I don't look to them as heroes like a lot of other photographers do. That where it's like, oh, I've got to have the same camera as so and so, or I've got to I've got to find out the same focal length. I started off doing that a long time ago, and then I just thought, well, I just want my work to look like my own work. And especially with somewhere like the Valleys, you are reacting to photos of people where, certainly when you become a kind of part of the community, the pictures of people in the Valleys that are just glue sniffers and people on drugs.
Yeah.
There is an aspect to that, but I'm lucky enough to work. Who I'm working with today, Rhiannon and Commonwealth Theatre in the Corn Exchange. We did a project in the Gurnos estate in 2016, which was very interesting as a photographer to kind of visualise what they were trying to do there about pride in their community, giving themselves a voice and kind of reclassifying themselves as not just people that live in this horrendous ghetto that Gurnos has always had this name for. And I think that taught me a lot about responding to people and reacting to people and how they want to be seen, rather than it just photographers who go in with almost like a checklist of like dirty sink, car with flat tires, fridge by the side of the road, burnt out car, someone jacking up.
I know. Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah.
And once that work has been done, what's the point in repeating that? There's so much post-industrial and industrial history to the Valleys that how can you go and not touch on any of that kind of architecture or landscape, or you just want it all to look...
Which is what you've done.
Yeah. Because I'm
book,
obsessed
work,
with that aspect of it. And I'm not saying that, there aren't places in the Valleys that aren't very deprived or, that are just shit, but those places exist all over Great Britain.
Of course.
And there is a whole matrix of places in the Valleys where people are happy, people have got jobs, people are doing all sorts of stuff. The youth clubs, there's all sorts going on. It's not just post the miners' strike, which is still the way I think that even the media, a lot of the media in Wales, they still categorise the Valleys as like post-miners' strike.
Yeah.
It's fucking 40 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot has happened since then. And there's an awful lot of people, there's 39-year-old people now who can't remember the miners' strike.
Of course.
So it's like, why are we still going on about it?
Yeah.
Remember it, but you don't have to have the exhibitions every 10 years and the TV specials and I think it just does people's heads in. It's a bit
what do you think then now the representation of the Valleys should be? If not that.
It's very difficult because at the moment there's a lot of trouble in the Valleys with reform and stuff that is very political because people's kind of boredom with Labour and Labour's kind of lack of effective communications in pointing out that things aren't terrible in the Valleys, because people always are like, it doesn't change in the Valleys. It's, we've voted Labour for 30 years and nothing's got any better. But it's like, it also hasn't got any worse. And a lot of things have been protected. If you look at a town like Pontypridd, where so much investment has come in, an EU investment, but then people will complain about anything.
Well, that's it. That's like human nature.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
I
If you
think.
give them a new town square and some sculptures and stuff, all they will say is like, oh, somewhere for kids to hang out or druggies to...
Yeah. Well, it's the same, same everywhere.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
everywhere,
Or
yeah.
they're like, oh, I'm still queuing at 8 o'clock to see my GP and stuff. And
I
it's
know,
like,
I know.
it's all
You
different.
can't win, I know. It's
No, you
tough,
can't
isn't
win,
it?
and it's all different pots of money, and it's
But do you think the Valley's right now has its own identity?
very
As
much
such,
so.
you know?
Yeah. But unfortunately, I think it is.
It's not good. It's not.
I think it's going through a period where it's going to be seen through a prism of reform, and I think that's quite a dangerous thing. And
Well,
I think,
again, that's going to be everywhere, though.
yeah.
I think
yeah.
I'm not too political. I don't want to get into it.
No.
But,
But I think with the
the
values
next few years are going to be interesting.
because of the Senate elections now, less than a year away, I don't think you can ignore that aspect, because I think so many people in the valleys are going to give they don't realise how good they've got it, and they're going to do a kind of protest vote, and then they might realise we're really in the shit now, boys, because...
Well, again, that might be everyone.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows?
Reform literally couldn't... They couldn't run a pub. They couldn't tie their own shoelaces. These are people who are kind of have been empowered by grievances, and I don't think you can run anywhere sensibly through grievances. You know, if you look at the history of the valleys, the miners were empowered by paying for their own libraries, paying for their own schooling for kids, paying for their own bathhouses for the pits, campaigning for all that stuff to be progressive. And now I think we're at a point in the valleys where people are kind of so comfortable, really, that they don't realise how bad it could be if reform come in and kind of close.
Well, that's another project
everything
for you then.
Yeah. It is, unfortunately, and it's not something I'm a bit like you, that I don't want my work to become political, but then
I've been photographing protests and rallies for 2.5 years.
It's weird, isn't it?
I can't get away from that.
Yes. It's
and
strange.
it's so interesting.
Yeah, all
right
art
now,
is
isn't it?
political,
Yeah,
but then again,
yeah.
you don't. I don't want the book to be seen as a political thing, but I can't help thinking that it might be seen as something at some point when.
Well, it is a moment in time, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, or
yeah.
It is that moment that you've captured.
Yeah,
So it will be
yeah.
interesting to, and this is the beauty of photography. You
Yeah.
know, if they're not for now, they're for 20 years time.
Exactly.
You know, so
Yeah.
in 20 years we'll look back at it and go, "Oh my God, do you remember how good we had it?"
Well, yeah.
Or
I think that's
how better it is now. You know,
because I mean, I look back to the 90s now and I think, God, like it actually was a lot more. Things were a lot more settled and kind of normal than everything that's going on now. But that's all every discourse. That's like discourses in art, in everything now. People are so kind of binary that it's like, if you don't agree with someone, you're literally like someone's worst enemy, rather than just saying, "Oh, I kind of agree to disagree." Actually, I can kind of see what you're saying there. Everyone now is like,
there's never been, like I said, I've been photographing protests and rallies for 2 years, 3 years.
yeah.
Man, it's never been like going off topic a little bit, and we're talking about the government now, but they're doing such a good job of dividing people.
Yes.
It is genius what they're doing. But it's plain to see.
But I don't think they even realise what they're doing after time.
I don't know.
I think
Well,
it blows.
I don't know. Anyway, that's
I
another
just think,
podcast, right? So
I think Labour could have come in with a really, really positive. They've had a massive landslide victory. That it could have come in with this really positive.
But that's only what's going to happen now with reform. So it's But again, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
Is there a photo in the book?
Yeah.
That sums it all up.
Oh. It's a picture of a reformed placard.
No, is there one in the book that sums it up? Is there like a definitive photograph? Would it be the poster photograph?
It's hard to
We'll
think
try and
of
put it
one.
up on the screen somewhere if I can get it from you.
People tell me what their favourite is, and that's what I usually go with, because I don't.
So is there one that people gravitate
Usually
towards?
the one that people say is the white wall with a curtain coming out the window, which is 2 streets away from my house in Treforest, and
We're going to put this up somewhere.
yeah. So it basically is so many people have read really interesting kind of metaphors into that
Yeah.
picture to do with death and all sorts of stuff. And I was just kind of a bit blown away. And then I started to see it in that way and just think, like that escape of that thing. Because I've never seen that happen again since.
I'm just checking the time. I said we'd be half hour. That's half hour already.
It's easy.
Yeah.
That's I've never seen that curtain do that again since, and that was 2017. So it does make you think, are these pictures sometimes things that are never to be repeated, you know? And then that does make you that's what puts you in mind of, if I don't go out today, I am going to miss something.
Oh, I know. I'm terrible at the moment with that.
I find this time of year really difficult when it's switching into rain and stuff, and you just think, I can't photograph in this. I do rely on kind of quite bright, harsh sunlight and quite nice weather because I'm not really keen on
the doom and gloom.
Which kind of works for some of the shots in the Valleys book.
Yeah. Is there any black and white in the book?
No.
It's all colour.
Is
there film in the book?
No.
No,
it's all digital colour. I'm very anti black and white digital because I can never get it to look right.
Okay.
The first time I've tried it for ages is for the play-in thingy, Corn Exchange.
Well, they'll be glad to hear that then.
Yeah. Because what they've been doing in there, they've got these projections and they've got these kind of curtains hanging down. They've got these kind of overlaid images live from what's happening in the play. So you've got these guys going around with phones transmitting to the projectors.
Okay.
It looks really cool.
Yeah,
so I've
cool.
been trying to mimic that. And then these images are like black and white. So I've been doing these really high contrast black and white images. But I never really mix film and digital for projects.
I just wondered, because it was over a period of time, were you shooting?
I shot loads of film before 2010, and a lot of it is just crap and not very good.
Okay.
I never really kind of got the vibe I was looking for. To be honest, until I moved to a full frame digital SLR, I couldn't really get the stuff that I was really happy with. I had a Nikon D90 for years that I really struggled with, and some of that stuff is in the book. But then once I'd gone up to the D600 10 years ago, I was like, oh, this is what I've been trying to do for absolutely bloody ages.
Do you think now, and you don't really know that until you print work as well, do you?
No.
Sometimes, because when it's on a screen, it's different to print.
Very, very different.
Do you think book is going to be your medium going forward now, as opposed to like exhibitions and selling prints?
I mean, exhibition is my main stuff.
Because I was baffled when we met last week to hear that you'd never exhibited the Valley's work.
It's never really
It's gone straight into
a
book.
Yeah, I mean, it's different types of narrative, isn't it?
Or sometimes they go hand in hand, or there'll be a book that follows the exhibition, but you've gone straight in with the book.
No.
Smashed it.
I mean, I get commissioned for exhibitions quite often. So I do a lot of exhibitions as commissions, mainly for like Age Cymru or clients like that. Yeah, I mean, I collect books, and I collect art books and photo books. And I do love having books as things. So I do like the process of design and all that kind of stuff, which is what I really enjoyed working with Sean. And that's why we've done the book slightly different way. So it's like a softback thing, and it's stitched, and it's got these tip-in pages that are white ink on black. So we've mixed up those aspects of it a little bit, because I had some quite clear ideas of what I wanted it to look like, interventions in the book with text. But I mean, I kind of work on a kind of project by project basis. I always used to think that my different projects were like albums, when bands work on an album and you think of the Beatles or people like that. They'd have the artwork, and then you think of the jump from like, I was saying this to someone the other day, you have the jump from like Rubber Soul to Revolver to Sgt. Pepper to the White Album, which doesn't even really have a cover, really, when you think about it. And I always like to think of, bodies of work in that kind of way. So they're kind of, it could be an exhibition, it could be a book, it could be paste-ups, something I haven't done for years. And I used to really like in Cardiff doing paste-ups with, like, big posters on the wall of different places. I did that for a while. And then I didn't realise, I'd never heard of the guy. Is it JR, is he called? That does massive ones on all over, like, he did one on, like, Staten Island where the Statue of Liberty is. I think he's called JR or something like that. And I was like, it just looks like I'm ripping this guy off now. And I never heard of him.
I see. Okay.
So I used to really like that kind of aesthetic of just like pasting stuff up on a wall and just leaving it. And then...
So what is next? Because the popularity of this book, has that urged you to do another, or you...
Probably a second edition.
Take a step back and breathe a little bit?
Well, people are nagging me so much, probably do a second edition, because I don't think people got that you
So
could...
on the valleys?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, probably just reprint that book firstly.
You must have, like you said, you've got sheds and you've got film stuff, and you must have tens of thousands of photographs.
Yeah.
Has it urged you to do more, put more out now?
Christ. I don't know if I could do more physically. I mean...
But just different things, not the valleys, but
maybe,
other projects.
Maybe to do something different for a bit would be nice. I mean, I've got quite a lot of new and quite kind of hectic clients coming up that I'm kind of juggling stuff with, doing a project with the Welsh National Opera for their 80th anniversary. So that's going to be I probably can't say this, but that might be something that comes up next year.
Okay.
And then I've been working with the Welsh National Theatre that's just been created to do some of their photography and kind of, not branding, but kind of...
Can you use those photographs then, though, to do something with, or do they belong...
So in some ways, yes, and in other ways, no. But I mean, what I'm saying is I've been too busy with these commissions to
do anything else.
What what I'd really like to do now is find some quiet time and then just go out and do some new stuff on something. Maybe.
What would you like to do? If it's not the valleys, what would like the dream?
I'd quite like to go into England and do some stuff. I'd quite like to do some photography in the Cotswolds, which is somewhere I used to spend a lot of time as a kid. For years I've wanted to do a project on the musician Nick Drake, who lived in a village not far from where I grew up.
Okay.
And he's buried there. It's called Tanworth in Arden. And I went to start some work there, and I think it was like 2001. And it's like, it's 24 years later now, and you just have a list of things. And then I'd really like to do, I suppose it's a bit Martin Parry in that way, but because I grew up in Stratford-on-Avon and it's got all the Shakespeare stuff and all the tourism stuff, I'd really like to do a project about the tourism and all the mad Shakespeare stuff in Stratford, because it is quite a quirky, funny little town with a huge influx of tourists every year, and then people dressed as Shakespearean characters and just mad stuff. But that would have to be done in the summer, so that's like, I've already got to wait another year for that now, because you couldn't...
Lost another one.
You can't do that in the winter because it's just not the right vibe, is it? You need people with ice creams melting and
of course.
All that kind
tourists.
of rather than it just raining and empty streets.
We're on 39 minutes now, so I'm gonna, you
do the quick fire ones.
Let's
then,
do the quick fire.
Yeah.
But you've been great, man, and
Thank you
I
for
know
having me.
We were strapped for time a little bit because you're in the middle of a job and you've got to go back to do that now.
Yeah. Got to do a bit more
I got to
now,
open
maybe.
up the gallery.
I know,
closed. Oh no, actually it's 5:10 now, so I am closed now. Quick fire round, okay?
Yeah, go on,
so let's do that.
Yeah.
So I think I already know the answer to this one, but I'm going to ask him anyway because it's on my phone. Colour or black and white?
Oh,
I thought you were going to go straight in at colour.
I can't do quick fire with that one because I probably...
No, John, it's a quick fire round.
I probably actually prefer, over everything, black and white film.
Okay.
But colour digital, if...
Okay, well, you can say that.
Yeah.
It's
a difficult
rubbish
game.
answer, but okay. You're on death row. What's your last meal?
Oh, God. Well, I've got irritable bowel syndrome. So mind you, if you're dying, I don't suppose it matters, does it? probably some kind of curry and
Go
like
spicy, full spice.
all
if
the
it's,
bits. Yeah.
let them clean it up after you.
Because I'm trying to be vegetarian, so I'm cutting down. I've cut down on beef and lamb and sheep. So I'm trying to cut down on chicken and pork as well.
So what's
now.
the meal? Quick fire round, John.
For me, maybe some kind of veggie curry. Cause
Yeah,
if it's on death
mine
row,
would definitely be a curry.
yeah, I
It'd have to
wouldn't
be a
want to
curry.
kill an animal if I was just about to die. I think that makes you just look like a right twat, doesn't
Okay,
it?
that's fair enough. If you could use if you could use only one lens for the rest of your life, what lens are we using?
That's really hard as well. Well, I use a 60mm macro lens most of the time because I find it easier to focus.
Say that again, sorry? What do you use?
A 60mm macro
60mm
lens
macro, okay.
as my 50mm.
Okay.
Because I find it easier to focus with my glasses.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah.
I also really love the 85mm Nikkor 1.8. That gets me out of a lot of sticky situations in events when you don't want to get in people's faces and you can get a nice ambience without having to get in someone's grill.
Yeah, we can do that. Favourite flavour crisp?
Oh, it used to be Brannigan's beef and mustard.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about them.
Yeah, I don't know
Little
if they
purple packets.
Yeah, I don't know if they make them
Oh,
anymore.
I haven't seen them for a long time.
There was John Menzies in Warwick. used to be the only shop that would stock them. So me and my mother used to get them every Saturday.
I'm going to Google them.
Yeah,
Google
yeah,
it
yeah.
and see if we can find them.
They probably don't taste the same though, do they? I mean,
We'll have them.
God knows.
At your exhibition, maybe. Yeah. Favourite photo book?
Oh,
Not your own.
Christ. Oh my God. I mean, the one I would say had the most impact on me is an Avedon book. And I can't remember which one it's called now, but basically I went to New York with college in 1997, January 97. It was absolutely freezing. And we went around all the Guggenheim and all these places. And then in the Guggenheim shop, I saw the book. And it's the one with the blue and black text on the front. And I was like, this looks mad. This book is quite big. It's softback. The text is mad. Flick through it. And I was just like, wow, these photographs are fucking beyond. Like, this is the man for me to kind of influence me.
Yeah.
And that's the one for me that really knocked me totally off my socks. And when I pull it out now, I'm just like...
So what is the book?
I don't know what it's called.
Oh.
It might be Evidence. It might be Evidence by Richard Avedon.
Okay.
But yeah, it came out, I think, in 94.
Okay. Well,
So
I'll look at
it
that.
was a retrospective of his career at that point, which was already like 50 fucking years or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
And then he lived another like 10 years after that. Because it's bad to think he photographed like Obama and like someone like Eisenhower. He did had this
that's
mad
crazy.
spread of
Yeah,
American
okay.
history.
Well, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, oh, it's incredible. Really incredible.
All right. So when I'm on assignment,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
my bag,
Yeah.
I need a bottle of water,
Yeah.
Lucozade, and fruit pastels. What's in your bag for snacks when you're out and about?
When I did the photography for a thing called The Way, which is a Michael Sheen TV show a couple of years ago. And
Show off.
You are?
Show off.
And it was the most extreme experience I've ever had in my life because it was just insane. But because of my IBS, the food some days I just couldn't eat. 'Cause,
Okay.
you know, one day it would be like bang bang cauliflower and rice, and I'm like, if I eat that, I'll
Yeah,
be
game
in bed
over.
for a week.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I started to take were things called naked bars.
I've
Which are
seen
like,
them. Yeah, yeah.
They're like,
It's like a health
yeah,
bar,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. But I found they really stuck by me. And when I was peckish, they either have the chocolate orange flavour or they have the Bakewell tart
I love
flavour.
chocolate orange.
And and they really helped me with that project because there was no other
Yeah.
food really.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes if you started late, you'd have like bacon and egg or something.
Mm.
But some of the food would just be, and they'd have vegetarian days where it would just be a mad curry that I couldn't eat because I
Yeah.
wasn't on death row.
Yeah, yeah. That's,
And,
shame.
And you know, we'd be doing like 9-hour days, and
Yeah.
you'd just be like, "This is mental. I'm
Naked
going to have to
bars
eat
for them.
something."
Yeah.
So yeah, that I would probably say that those.
Okay.
because you need so much energy, don't you? And
That's why I go for the sugary. fruit pastels.
I don't think I don't think people would realise how kind of tiring and how much energy you need to constantly be on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Right, this is the last one.
Yeah.
One photograph you'd wished you'd taken.
That I wished I'd
Yeah.
taken. By someone else or an
Well, it's a funny
imaginary...
question. I'm thinking now, right? Is it one
Yeah.
that you've missed?
Yeah.
Or it can either or. So one that you look at and go, "Oh, I wish I'd taken that,"
Yeah.
as someone else's photograph, or
Yeah.
one that you've gone, "Oh, I didn't get up early enough to take that." So however you want to look at it.
I'm not sure. I mean, there's people I've wished that I'd photographed who have been alive in my lifetime. So it's not like saying I wish I'd photographed
Yeah,
Henry
who
VIII.
then? Who would you have loved to have taken a portrait of?
One was Lucian Freud, the painter, and the
Yeah.
other is Frank Auerbach, who was Lucian Freud's friend, who was also a painter. Two of the best 20th century artists, and into obviously the 21st century. Frank Auerbach only died. To be honest, I do really wish I'd photographed David Hockney. He's a massive hero of mine, and he's really photogenic bloke, always dresses amazingly. And for quite some time, I didn't know it. He was based near Bridlington, which is about 10 minutes from where my mother lives.
Yeah.
So he did reams of work up there, and I never knew he was up there. And I would have gone up any time to photograph him. Just he would just set up at the side of the road with an easel, and he
Can't believe it, can you?
no. He did have, and he still got the same assistant who did a really good job of documenting all that period of his work. But I do wish that I'd been around to photograph some of that stuff. But in terms of the other stuff that I do really like the one of Marilyn Monroe that Avedon took, where she's not looking at the camera and she's looking down to one corner, really sad, because it's such a atypical way of seeing her.
Yeah, different perspective of her.
And there's some, can't think of the guy's name. Neil Leifer, it might be.
Sports photographer.
Yeah, the pictures he took of Ali.
Oh man, my God, any one of them.
Yeah.
I was in, I think it's called Icons Gallery in Piccadilly, and I picked. There was just prints. I picked one up, and it was signed by him.
Amazing.
And I said, "What's in my hand?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh," I said,
Yeah.
I said, "I know what it is, but I don't even know why I'm asking you."
Yeah.
He said, "I said there's no price tag on
Yeah.
it." He said, "Well, if you want it today,
Yeah.
it's £15,500." So I went, "Let's put it back
Put
there
it back
then."
down, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I found the book of all his work of Ali in book sale in Stratford in like 1996.
Amazing.
And it is one of the best.
Yeah.
You know, it's
he was in it.
I think it's put to one side because it's a bit of a genre within photography, because it's sports photography. But I think it's better than anything David Bailey or any of those people ever took.
Amazing.
Just to get the stuff
I
in
know.
focus.
Yeah.
Correctly
People don't
exposed.
realise, on film, whatever camera he was using.
I think it was a Hasselblad he had, but it would have been so
Yeah,
hard.
the light, everything is against a photographer in boxing.
And I think that is a perfect body of work.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's many photographers that can hold their hand up and say, and he's not, your Baileys, your Hearns, your Bruce Gildens. I don't think there's many of them can say I've got a perfect body of work. But if you look at that guy's pictures of Muhammad Ali over 20 years, it is spine-tingling.
Stunning,
incredible work.
Yeah.
And, again, just a real time capsule that can't be repeated. You know, it's not like the best photo of a tree or, it's the world's.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's the world's most famous sportsman.
Ever. Yeah.
You can't mimic that with.
But they're iconic,
Yeah.
Hey, John, you've been amazing, man.
On
What a
that
guest.
bombshell.
Yeah, well. God, my eyesight.
50 minutes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
49.
It's worrying as a photographer that my eyesight's going that bad.
Yeah.
You've been amazing, man. And there needs to be a part 2 because there's loads more to talk about. Because we've just covered the valleys here, but I know that there's loads more to you than just that. So
Maybe
we
I'll
will do
We'll do a part 2 sometime.
Yeah, when you're not in between jobs and you've got 5 minutes,
Yeah.
we'll, or 50 minutes, we'll do another one.
Yeah. Happy days.
I'm just going to talk to the camera a second. So we want to do lots more of these chats with photographers. If you enjoy these types of videos or this type of video, then please like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And I have got 2 more booked in this month, which is like that's unheard of for me because I'll start something and never finish it. But I'm all in now. And I'm committed, so we're going to try and do it. So I won't name names just in case they do fall through, but I think they're solids anyway. But listen, if you've made it this far, you're a legend, and we will see you next time. Boosh.